After the Second World War, the Soviet Union made considerable efforts to block itself and its satellite states from contact with the West. The political boundary between East and West was called the Iron Curtain. The Soviet Union took control of existing satellite countries and implemented a one-party communist rule in each, giving themselves monopoly on power. In the late 1980s, many one-party governments in Europe finally started to crumble under the protest of civilians. This was the case in Czechoslovakia and began on November 17, 1989, when a peaceful student protest in Prague was brutally suppressed by riot police.
It's the most important event in our lives, what changed everything, which came after the Velvet Revolution.
So it changed our life completely. Otherwise we would live in a gray state behind the fence.
Ďakujem vám. Všetko najlepšie dnešnému dňu. Všetko dobré. Ďakujem.
When I was young, I was 4 years old. I spent my first celebration, which was in the 1980s. Every year I come here to see this celebration, and I think it's my parents.
I remember because I was thinking when we're coming here that I was here with my mom when actually in 1999, and still when I remember that I mean I was 9 years old at the time, but still when I just said like still when I remember it I have goosebumps. It's very powerful, the memories, but the atmosphere was very strong. Like it's something you remember your whole life, but really.
It's a day when people can understand and remind what is freedom, what is to enjoy life.
Compassion and being together, and like it was this whole like positive vibe, you know, like a wave of positive energy that was just like wow, everything is going to be great, and then it wasn't, but still it's important.
I think it has a lot of pros and cons, and sometimes it's not fine that there's a lot of freedom, because a lot of people can not use it in a good way. Like as we know, fascism is a problem in our country today, and also LGBTQ, it's hard for them also, even in our democracy. I think our democracy in Slovak Republic today, we have a long way to go. To be at the place where Western democracies, but also Western democracy has a lot of problems also. So it's a very complicated and very complex issue, I think. Yeah.
Mostly one word: freedom. Freedom to me is that I have much more options to choose from now than I had or my parents had before '89. That's freedom for me. It doesn't mean that I can do whatever I want, but it means I can do more than I could before.
Hi, girls. Do you speak English?
Yes.
Today, are you both Slovak?
No, we from Ukraine.
You're from Ukraine.
Yes.
So what do you think about?
Ukrainian rapper?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. You didn't know?
No, I don't know.
Glory to Ukraine! Glory to all the free world! I wish you to never ever hear this sound.
Today is the day of democracy and freedom. What do you think about this?
This is perfect. Slovakia, very nice help our country, and this perfect.
Что вы думаете об?
In English. It's very beautiful, important day.
Sorry.
У вас есть такой день в Украине? Есть или нет?
Конечно, да, незалежність нашої країни. Так, 24 августа. Серпня. Ну, на українській це серпень. August, 24 August. A lot of people walk and we have very much concert, yes. People very happy. Yeah. Демократия – это здорово.
Sometimes we forget it, but if you lose it, you will understand very quickly what it means to have freedom.
Who didn't live in communism, they have no idea what is it to live in communism, yes?
That it was not always easy, especially because they are Christians and they were suppressed in those communist times, and it was hard.
I studied here on the university and I was here every day, whole month, at 4 o'clock.
I'm feeling very grateful because I think without their fight and without their part on all of this, I wouldn't have the life I have today.
We have, open borders. We can study here or abroad. We can talk about what we want. We can demonstrate. We can fight for our rights. Yes, we have all people lives in democratic countries have to every day fight about the democracy.
And the people in Western Europe, they don't think sometimes, I think, that they don't value the freedom and everything.
So we try to reach the Western values and the Western way of life, and they are going the opposite way. Sometimes.
We are too old now to change something, yes? So the young generation must take the lead.
I hope that the society can somehow renew, somehow find the values again. So hopefully.
But I think the duty of all generation is to make a world better place for the next generation. Whether something like this happens or not, I think that's the destiny of each generation, to make a world a little bit better for the next generation.
Uh, 17 November is freedom for all people.
What does it mean to you?
For me, I'm very happy.
It's not easier, maybe, but it's free. It's your choice. What do you make?